Isn't that illegal?
Guess the religion. There were two people, two young men in their 20s, smart black suits, name badges, shoulder bag full of books. If you need more clues than that, remember that I'm in England and the two at the door had American accents. So no prizes for guessing. In fact, you probably got it right when I said two young men in their 20s. It's, of course, the Mormons came to my door. The Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, which I've just had to read out because it's a bit of a mouthful. So we'll just stick with the Mormons. They don't mind being called Mormons because I looked it up and that's what it says. Anyway, since I started making this blog, I've been wanting to test my newfound oratory skills. No, not that way. And here was the perfect opportunity. And I've got to say they were pretty surprised when I said that they could come in and talk to me. So, I'll just point out that at the time I was wearing a t-shirt with a Grim Reaper on it, spearing a demon through the heart. I've got a Marilyn Manson calendar in the living room, which actually one of them pointed to and said, "Ah, Mr. Manson." So the Mormons know all about Marilyn Manson. First thing I got was a free gift. The Book of Mormon. Now, here's the weird thing. The Book of Mormon smells like tea bags. Tea bags. It really does. It smells like tea bags. I love the smell of tea bags. I don't know why, because I don't actually like drinking tea. So already they've scored 1 point, and I'm thinking this is the religion for me. Mormon tea bags. The Book of Mormon tea bags. So basically we just have a bit of a general discussion. I give some of the arguments that are in my videos. They respond. They give me some religious spiel and I respond to them. Nothing too deep. It was all pretty standard stuff, nothing to report. They mentioned the standard thing about if you find a watch on the beach you would assume that it was designed. So I said, well, you wouldn't assume one person designed it, you'd assume a lot of people designed it. They said the universe was complex, it must also be designed. So my answer, which they weren't expecting, was if you believe that there was one designer, surely you can't discount the idea that there was hundreds of designers. They seem to be a bit phased by that. They agreed with me. They said, yeah. Well, I said, well, that means there'll be more than one God. They said, oh no, we didn't mean more than one God. We meant people that were created by God. I think they're a bit confused, a bit phased with the fact that I was suggesting that there was more than one God rather than no God at all. So we've been discussing this and that for about half an hour. Some of it about religion, some of it about science, which we got onto by saying that about the creation of the universe, things like that. So one of them said, do you realise we only use 10% of our brains? So I looked at them, smiled to them, said, actually I think I probably use 11% of mine. Then we were even on points, but I made a complete fuck up. Do you read the books of Stephen Hawking? One of them asked. Now magically the name Stephen Hawking travelled across the room and transmogrified in my brain into the words Richard Dawkins. So when I started quoting some books on evolution, he got confused, and then he quoted a book and he couldn't quite remember the title of it, but it had time in it, and I didn't connect that he meant A Brief History of Time. So we were both confused then, and it was quite lucky actually, because I haven't read the Brief History of Time. There you go. As I say, my debating skills are terrible, and this is the fuck up I got into. But actually, I enjoyed talking to both of them. They were nice people. They were genuinely nice, kind, generous, honest people. You can tell when people are honest, good people. And I told them as much. They were friendly, and I mean genuinely friendly. I didn't think they were putting it on. I could be fooled, but you know, I could have been fooled, but I don't think I was. And they didn't seem to be preaching to me in any kind of forceful way. I mean, obviously I'd invited them in, so they could have preached as much as they wanted, because you know they were there under invitation. And I'd made it 100% clear to them, even before they got through the door, that I was an atheist, and an active atheist. That I didn't tell them about. I made videos, but I told them I got into discussions with people about atheism, so they knew I was going to argue my case with them, argue my side. But overall, I think it's been a valuable experience for me to try and argue my corner with people who are obviously not going to change their viewpoints in any way. You know, I'm not going to win the argument. I'm not a great debater by any means. I'm a very shy, introverted person, and to be honest, I get a bit confused, as I've just described, when I'm trying to construct a big argument. That's why all my videos are read from a script. It says there. So, to break me in gently into this debating business, who better to practice on than the Mormons? Yeah, about this Book of the Mormons. The Book of Mormon. This was actually, I've read the first few pages, and it says it in the book. It was revealed by an angel to American 200 years ago. It was written on gold tablets, engraved in gold, which were translated by magic seer stones and then spirited away by God before anyone else could see them. So it's not really surprising they were taken away, because, or they said they were taken away, because now we can't check it, can we? Which is all very believable. Oh yeah, and by the way, when Jesus died, before he went up to heaven, or was it after? I haven't quite got that far. He visited America. That's not in the Bible. And he met a group of people who had already travelled there in a boat, this is to America, just to escape the destruction of Jerusalem a few hundred years ago, and they all had lots of wars with each other, and that's where the Native Americans came from. And by the way, they were turned a different colour by God. That's the Native Americans, because they were cursed. That's why he turned them a different colour.
Yeah? What? My brain hurts.
Fascinating. Fascinating, these religions. It's really, really difficult to understand why I'm an atheist when there's so much truth out there. One of them said he had more information for me, and but he said it would take 40 minutes to show me. I said, okay, go for it. I'm ready to listen. But when he realised I was going to listen, he said, tell you what, let's stop there. So, in other words, I've now officially out-religioned the Mormons, because they got fed up with me and wanted to go, and they were a bit tired, I think. But they're nice people, and I wasn't talking to them to piss them off or, you know, make fun of them. I genuinely want to find out more of what they're about, because I don't know. Because if I find out more, knowledge is power and all that. I mean, I made it clear to them that they were never going to convert me, and I just wanted to find out more about them, and they said that was okay. So fair enough, fair play to them. If that's what they want to do, they can come back and talk to me, and I'll listen. I'll make my own points, and they'll have to listen to me. So they're coming back next week. So this will be a sort of two-part diary type thing. So next time I'll either be fully converted and listening to Osmond's records, or I'll be sniffing other holy books to see what they smell like. Oh, apparently the Quran smells like spicy bacon. But this one smells like tea bags. Tea bags. Oh.
Isn't that illegal?
Censor your kid's ideas. Censor your child's inspiration. Censor all that. Expect a really heavy return spring, because you know what? That kid's going to turn her on you, and you're never, ever going to have a part of his life again.
Casting off the chains of the world.
But enough about me.